The Itaewon Halloween tragedy, a night of celebration turned catastrophe. Before the chaos unfolded, it was an October evening filled with hope, excitement, and anticipation. For the first time since the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, Halloween celebrations returned to Itaewon, South Korea's vibrant nightlife hub. Known globally as a tourist hotspot, Itaewon had become the epicenter of post-pandemic festivity, drawing people from all corners of the world. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button. When you do this, YouTube algorithm pushes our content to listeners who enjoy good stories. The night began like a dream. Bars and restaurants bustled with activity, the streets teemed with revelers in colorful costumes, and laughter echoed through the air. At the heart of this celebration was a narrow alleyway, a simple shortcut connecting the main roads. By day, it was an unassuming pathway, barely 10 feet wide and sloping downward. But on this night, it would become a deadly trap. As the evening progressed, the streets grew more crowded. By 6:30 p.m., the first uneasy whispers emerged. A call was made to emergency services. The alleyway near the Hamilton Hotel is getting dangerous. People are pushing, and it's too crowded. Yet, no immediate action followed. The warnings were drowned out by the noise of festivities. By 8 p.m., the alley was packed, shoulder to shoulder. Those inside couldn't move forward, couldn't move back. People were shouting, some crying for help. A young woman fell, dragging others down with her. One survivor described the feeling. It was like a domino effect. I was under someone was under me. We were all screaming, but no one could hear us. At first, the situation seemed controllable. A woman climbed onto a ledge and tried to direct the flow of people. "Move to the side! Let those going down pass first!" she yelled. But the crowd's sheer density made coordination impossible. People were inching forward and backward, but the space was too tight, the energy too chaotic. As the hours passed, desperation set in. More calls to emergency services went out. "I feel like I'm going to be crushed." Still, no significant response came. By 10 p.m., the situation had reached a boiling point. Witnesses spoke of people in the back shouting, "Push! Push!" as if trying to force their way through. Others cried, "Stop! I can't breathe!" The conflicting movements only intensified the chaos. Within moments, the crowd surged, and the unimaginable happened. People fell, stacking on top of one another. Survivors described the horrifying sensation of being lifted off the ground by the sheer pressure of the crowd. Feet no longer touched the ground. They were suspended, helpless. One young woman recounted, "I couldn't even move my arms to protect my chest. I couldn't breathe." The narrow alley became a death trap. People suffocated, crushed by the weight of those around them. Survivors spoke of hearing cries for help that grew weaker and weaker. "I saw a girl next to me turn purple and stop moving," one man tearfully shared. Others described the unbearable pressure on their lungs, the hopelessness of being unable to escape. Please subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button. When you do this, YouTube algorithm pushes our content to listeners who enjoy good stories. Emergency responders arrived, but too late. The alley was so tightly packed that rescue efforts were almost impossible. Those who had fallen were buried under layers of bodies. Medical personnel and volunteers worked tirelessly, administering CPR on the street. But the scale of the tragedy was overwhelming. One first responder, a nurse visiting the area, described performing CPR on over 30 people. "It was physically exhausting, but we couldn't stop. We had to try to save them," he said. Yet for many, it was too late. Among the chaos, a heroic police officer emerged. Officer Kim, who happened to be nearby, rushed to the scene without waiting for orders. As he arrived, he saw civilians already attempting to pull people out and administer CPR. Later, in tears during an interview, Officer Kim said, "I tried my best to rescue them, but I couldn't save them all. I'm so sorry." In stark contrast, questions were raised about the lack of preparation and the failure to act on early warnings. The local police station, responsible for managing the event, ignored multiple emergency calls. Survivors reported that they had called hours before the tragedy, warning of the dangerous crowd density. A live streamer even visited the police station to report the growing chaos, only to be dismissed. The officers tasked with planning crowd control had underestimated the scale of the event, leaving Itaewon without adequate measures to handle such a massive gathering. This negligence, paired with ignored calls for help, only deepened the tragedy. In the aftermath, the streets were littered with shoes, bags, and personal belongings. Parents searching for their children's last moments were directed to a gym filled with these remnants. One mother collapsed upon recognizing her daughter's handbag, her cries echoing through the room. As the nation mourned, anger and questions arose. How could this have happened? Survivors' accounts pointed to a lack of crowd control and ignored warnings. Rumors spread about people intentionally pushing the crowd, further fueling public outrage. Amid the grief, stories of bravery emerged. A young actor lost his life while saving a little girl from the crush. Strangers formed human chains to pull others to safety. A photographer held onto two women, ensuring they stayed on their feet. These moments of humanity shone through the darkness. By the end of the night, 159 lives were lost, and nearly 200 others were injured. The Itaewon tragedy became a stark reminder of the fragile balance between celebration and catastrophe. This story is not just about what happened that night. It's about the lives lost, the families shattered, and the questions that still remain. How do we ensure this never happens again? For the victims, their families, and the survivors, the world must remember and learn from Itaewon's Halloween tragedy. If you enjoy our stories, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe to our channel. When you hit the like button, YouTube will automatically push our content to more people who enjoy stories. Please support our channel and help us grow. We promise to keep bringing juicy stories to you.